Hello, my friends. Hello, and welcome to this Halloween, All Hallows Eve, Samhain, Les Fox Friday. We are stepping across the threshold into the darkest days of the year. On Sunday, for most of us in the United States, we're turning the clocks back. We are taking back, quote unquote, an hour of time because we still have 24 hours in the day, and clock time is really a construct. It's made up. A friend of mine is fond of saying this is like cutting one end off a blanket and then sewing it onto the other end and saying it's longer. So we are at the threshold of transition. This fall season is a time of preparation for the dormancy of winter. And we are being invited to ask ourselves, like, what do I want this winter to look like? What would I like to welcome into this time of relative quiet and dormancy? This is a time where we're being invited in the winter to pull closer to home and hearth, to stay closer to warmth, to kind of batten down the hatches a little bit and cozy up, right? Excuse me. And for a lot of us, that would be nice. That would be nice. I'm here to remind you that it doesn't have to be weeks of solitude. I mean, it would be nice. Weeks of solitude with books and hot beverages and blankets aplenty. That's not reality for most of us because life, right? At the same time, it's important that we create space for ourselves to just slow down even a couple of breaths, even just for a few minutes to pull a card, to set an intention, to check in with your heart, to set an affirmation. Today, I am a woman who shows up on time. Today, I am a woman who makes and eats nutritious food. Today, I am a woman who indulges in hot chocolate with whipped cream. Today, I am a woman who follows my pace and allows myself to rest when my body tells me rest is called for. How do we go down this road? Anyway, intentions, mantras. We are at a time when people say, and I said it at the beginning, the veil is thin. I think I said it at the beginning. The veil is thin. This is a time, this Halloween threshold, halfway between fall equinox and winter solstice, is the final harvest. It's the gleaning time. So we had first harvest in August with Lunasa, or some people call it Lammas. And then we had second harvest with Mabon, with the fall equinox. And now we've got this third harvest, this gleaning time with Samhain, with Halloween. This is the time traditionally that people would go out into the gardens and really just make one last check and make sure they got everything that they could. Carrots were pulled, potatoes were harvested, root vegetables were brought in, stored in a root cellar, stored in a back room for fresh keeping through the winter. So this fall is a time of preparation. And my question to you is, what do you really want? What do you really want to welcome in this winter season? What do you really want to create space for? What do you really want to leave in this year? What do you really want to leave out in the field for the wind to take? I just got an eyeful of the card that I pulled. Interesting. What would it take for you to create space, for you to take radical stock of yourself and ask, what do I need right now? After you ask and answer, what do I need right now? You can add, what do I really want? A lot of us struggle there because what we've wanted has seemed impossible. What we have wanted has been, who do you think you are? How dare you? Who are you to want that? What we have wanted has been, but that's not what's best for everybody. What's best for everybody is what we all want. What do you really want? So I'm laughing because I can't stop looking at this card now, and it says, you look like a shit show. You're a hot mess. Fact. Clean yourself up. And it's not wrong. I am a hot mess. It's the time of year, right? I come out of summer like gangbusters and go into the first part of September and fall. Like, come on, we got stuff to do. We got lists to make. We got boxes to check. We got things to take care of, right? I feel like a really useful engine. And as I make my way past the middle of October and into what's now becoming retreat time and into the darkest days, my energy dwindles. It doesn't begin to. My energy dwindles. And the funny thing is, I was just thinking this morning, not quite so abruptly to myself, but I was like, sis, you got a little something on your everywhere. We need to take care of this. I'll get there. And it doesn't only have to be about personal appearance. It can also be about workspace. It can also be about creative space. It can also be about living space. It can also be about sleeping space, relaxing space. How are we, and I'm saying this for everybody in the room, how are we creating spaces of nurturance and nourishment? When I look at my dining room table, I see all the stuff on top of it that has nothing to do with dining. And on the one hand, I'm like, yes, because practical, because surface, because spaciousness, because sunlight, because blah, 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 blah. And also, sacred space for dining. I'll just swipe everything off at 30 seconds before and brush off the biggest crumbs onto the floor. I'm sure I'll take care of those later on, or I'll walk over them, or whatever it is. When we say that we want events to happen in a sacred manner, in a special way, in a cherished space, that is a beautiful intention. And yet, and I say we, I'm going to change that pronoun. There we go. When I say that I want time together in a cherished space, time together for us to converse, ask questions, be in each other's company, whether it's family or friends or extended family or neighbors or people about whom I'm curious or people I just met 5 minutes ago. If my intention is to create opportunities for that, then how am I nurturing the spaces? How am I inviting that in? Where am I finding opportunities? So maybe it's not that your physical appearance is you look like a shit show. Maybe it's your relational appearance that is you look like a shit show. Or your creative environment that looks like a shit show. Maybe, like me, you've hit the trifecta, and it is all three. Where would you begin? What is the simplest thing that you can do to make this statement clearly untrue in your mind? Because I can do a lot of things and people will go, oh, that's amazing. And I'll go, yeah, I dialed it in. Why do I do that? Sometimes because I can, sometimes because that's as resourced as I am, sometimes because I'm just on autopilot, because it happens. It happens. Awareness is the first step to a better me, is what I hear. So, what's one simple thing I can do, or you can do, to make this statement false, clearly false in your mind? How can I believe that I no longer give the appearance of a shit show? I'm not going to answer that, nor do you have to. I'm just asking, what's the easiest? Where's, as a dear friend of mine says, who's also an amazing coach, where's the path of least resistance? Where can I make this, whatever it is, as simple as possible? Actually, I know a lot of amazing coaches who say that. Where can I make this as simple as possible? Because when it's as simple as possible, when it's like taking my next breath, I could do that all day long. I do. Not quite as luxuriously as that. And also, that's our one true requirement, is the breath. When we breathe out in a slower, more controlled way, we allow the vagus nerve to stand down and we recalibrate the nervous system. Maybe that's my simplest thing, to help me not look quite so deer in the headlights, because that's what I see. And I also, it's okay, they're just old stories. The stories I tell myself are that I look like a shit show. It's Halloween. So, I hope you found this helpful. If you have, please feel free to subscribe. Feel free to share it with people that you know who may also need this. Things are changing, things are brewing. All will be revealed. And also, as I'm shifting into offering Less Fox Friday in this format, it's been a challenge, as you may have noticed, for me to be in here as frequently. And that's one of my intentions for November and the holiday season. I intend to be a woman who shows up consistently in the ways that I say I will show up. So here's to being honest and vulnerable with ourselves. And we'll see what happens. I'll see you soon.